Yesterday, I spent 7.5 hours speaking with Studio AI, the Gemini within the YouTube Studio platform. And here are 3 things that I learned that I didn't know before, maybe some more. For those of you who do not know me, there's a squirrel over there and I'm really excited. But my name is Duncan Alderdice, and in this series, generally, I take a walk in the morning and talk through the thoughts I'm having as I try to put my life back together again. At 20 years old, trying to move back to Montreal. Anyways, okay. One of the big projects that I've been working on is these videos right here. And so a lot of effort has been going on for the past 40 days or whatever day it is. I have tried this before. And now, with the advancement of AI, we're in the future. But one of the big things now is on YouTube Studio. YouTube Studio is like the creator backend, which is just like a place where you organize all the uploads and you have analytics and that cool fun stuff. If you don't know what it is, you have Google, and I know you can figure it out. But anyways, now YouTube has integrated Gemini, which is Google's version of ChatGPT or AI or Claude, Anthropic, whatever one you want to do, and you can ask it questions directly. Why this is powerful is because it's connected directly to your channel, so you can get direct insights from that. But because it's trained by YouTube themselves, then it has internal access to internal information about the algorithm and things like that. So I've asked and had these sort of conversations that I did yesterday for the 7.5 hours with Gemini, with Claude or ChatGPT, but I'm never as confident in what they give because it's just the same thing as them just kind of looking on the internet. And so it's not insightful to the same degree as you have some information that I don't have that I can have confidence in. But it's more, you have made the work of looking it up online easier, not necessarily as insightful. But that's very powerful. The best like analogy I can use for it is like it's like having your own YouTube rep that you can ask questions to whenever you want that help you learn the platform if you so choose to engage with it. And so that's fantastic is because, I'm a very small channel, like 207 subscribers at this point, barely views at this point, but I'm not a big enough channel to get the attention that YouTube goes, we should pay someone to be focused on him. No, but this tool will allow me to get there, I think. I've taken so long to give context, but now let's talk about the things I learned. Number 1, here's a big insight, is when you publish a video, there are places where you need to tailor your messaging and packaging to the human psychology, and the other one to the algorithmic psychology or thinking. The title and the thumbnail. That, without a doubt, is doing the human work. So you want the thumbnail to be catchy, the eye-grabbing. So number 1, these are all things that I'm kind of learning, but it's re-emphasizing is that there's a rule of thirds. You want 3 main things to look at rather than being super cluttered, or a 50-50 rule. And I've been following that to the best degree that I can. But you'll see big text that you really can see maybe 3 to 4 words at most, and then my face on the other side, very simple. I've tried adding the motion blur so your eyes kind of follow left to right, because I live in a Western world and that's kind of the way it goes. And so maybe I should make it more standardized and having the text on the left, which I believe this is right for you. So text on the left and my face on the right, just so that it's easier for the eyes to know where to move and therefore more eye-catching and grabbing. Okay, so there's that component, and then there's the title. And then that's the title where you want to have, there's a bunch of different things it was saying about how to title the video, but you want there to be stakes and these are places to hook the audience. There's a bunch of different things that I kind of talked about that I don't really remember, but the main core takeaway just for me was that when I am creating the thumbnail and deciding what to put in the title, the audience I have in mind is a human being. So there you go. The other thing with that, just as a sub point, is that consistency and uniqueness matter more than the specific font or color that you use. Here's what I mean. is rather than it being like, oh, you definitely want to have a serif font, or you want it to be, hold on, there's a person, so I'm just gonna wait. It's not that there's a specific font that does better, like, I don't know, Comic Sans is the best font to have. But it makes more sense in terms of like brand consistency. Like if you have the style of thumbnail, and whatever it is, the way that you make them, you want that to be a recognizable pattern for the future. So if someone clicks on one video and I have the blurred, like the thing with what I had, like it's all caps, the font's called Change, the bold version of it, it has that sort of like shadow effect with my face, then the following videos want to stay within that pattern. That way when YouTube recommends it on their homepage, they recognize it and then click again, assuming they actually wanted to do it. Okay. Now the more insightful thing though is the fact that the thumbnail, the description, specifically the first 200 characters, that is for what Studio calls Lord AI, which is just the algorithm. And so that is where, this is the big insight of that, is where you are directly communicating with the algorithm, giving it the information it has before it has any stats or analytics on your videos to seeing what type of person is clicking and watching it. That's the seed, essentially, that is what it calls it. It provides, you can provide it to make those initial impressions an increased likelihood of being booked. Okay, I'm just gonna wait for a second. Morning. Okay, so it is a busy morning today. Are those people walking at me or behind me? I think they're walking towards, so I'm going to turn around. Okay. I feel like I could have done this a lot more specific, no, but the ramblings and all over the place that you hear for the journey. Here's the bigger insight, the big thing, is the description. Like I was saying, the description is how you communicate with the AI. And so the language you want to use is very specific, literal, and accurate, rather than poetic or stylistic. Like this is where you just want to use plain language below a 5th grade reading level that as accurately describes what goes on inside the video, so that the AI actually can match what the description is with the transcript that has access to, and therefore have more insight into who likely would be the type of person who would want to watch this video. Therefore, those first few impressions it gives and puts it in front of the eyeballs of are better. Here's the example that I brought up to it and that it confirmed, is like if I'm making a video about cheese philosophy, random, okay? So cheese philosophy, or the philosophy of cheese, and that's what I discussed in the video. It makes sense. You're going like, okay, well, what most people are going to want to know about or be searching, what is cheese, or what are the best types of cheese, for example. But if I put that in the description, then the algorithm is going to go like, okay, well, we're talking about cheese, probably what is the best type of cheese? Let's put that in front of the eyeballs of people who are interested in watching that sort of content. And then so it does, and views go up because there's more people who are searching that, perhaps. However, because those people, once they have to figure out, oh, it's a philosophy of cheese video, I'm going to click away. I'm not enjoying that. So that's not what they're going to watch. That's a bad signal for it. Whereas if I can have congruence with what the title says is going, that we're talking about, what the description is saying, we're discussing the philosophy of cheese. Okay, one second. It's a busy day today. It's my own fault because I got up late. But so if the video is talking about the philosophy of cheese, I see another fucking person up ahead there. it would be better for the algorithm to know we're talking about the philosophy of cheese, because then it can determine from all of the watch behavior of other people on the platform the types of people who would be interested in watching the philosophy of cheese video, and then put that video in front of their eyeballs on their homepage. And if that matches there, more people are going to click on it. The people who do click on it are going to watch to the end, and then that's going to be a fantastic signal of it going like, hey, people really like this video. And it's better to be a kind of the kingfish in a small pond. That's a better signal, and then that's when the algorithm goes like, okay, well, if this particular audience is great, then I feel more comfortable putting it in front of a cold viewer, because this is probably a high quality video. And so that sort of communication is going on there. So that's about a guy who's coming up here. Okay, so what have we discussed so far? We've discussed the fact that the title and thumbnail are different from this. Oh, so specifically within the algorithm, in the description, that's kind of your opportunity to put in keywords. I'm just going to wait until I walk back to this guy, so 1 second. So many people. Okay, so the other thing to do within that description is those are the places where you can add the keywords. And no, here's the important thing is, especially for what I'm doing here, is indicate to the algorithm that this video is a part of a broader series. More specifically, if in those first like 50 characters, it can say like day 1 of me rebuilding my life in public at 28, and then insert living in Montreal, or planning my move to go back in Montreal, or living as an Anglophone living in Montreal, or living as a cheese baker living in Montreal, or whatever it is that I'm talking about and discussing in the video that are other sort of points of connection for a potential viewer, that is the hook to get someone interested, going like, okay, well, living in Montreal, then there's not as many Montreal creators as there would be New York, LA, or whatever. And so that could be a point of connection. And then that's what gets them hooked. Then the personality and the person who speaks to them is what makes them stay. But that kind of is an opportunity to just kind of put whatever it is that you want. Okay, there's a truck coming behind me, so we're just going to pause for right now. I think the truck might be gone. We got wait for this. Okay, no, it's gone. I don't know where it went. We're powering through. That's the real estate for you to kind of, the good analogy is it's kind of like the mailing address. Like the envelope, or the video is the contents of the package. The mailing address is just the first 200 characters of the description, what kind of tells the algorithm where to be sending this video. And we're coming to the end of the walk, which is frustrating, all the interruptions that happen, but that's part of it. We've got to power through. The last thing would be, and this is the thing that I'm going to be needing to work on, is that in terms of getting the audience to engage, a good idea would be to, after each video when I post it, pin a comment that has a question that drives conversation, and that a comment is valued far more. Just killed the fly. The comment is valued far more, or ranked higher in terms of engagement, because it keeps people on the platform and indicates there's a sense of community going on, over a like or a subscribe. And I really know this, that like one call to action is better than the trope of YouTube, which is like right at the introduction, someone says like, make sure to like this video, comment if you haven't already, like smash that subscribe button and get that bell on so you don't miss another notification, add me on Patreon so you never miss an update, and like all these fucking laundry list of ideas. It's like, bro, I'm trying to figure out how my ice maker in my fridge is broken, not I subscribe to your channel or whatever. But so there's a bunch of different components going on there. I think the biggest takeaway is what I'm excited about is the fact that because I have set up ChatGPT and a project in Cloud and working with that, I'm essentially using the information I get from Studio AI to teach my team of AI projects. It's so there's so many things stopping. Like, why is it so fucking windy? Okay. That it is making, maybe this camera's better at getting the wind to stop. Fuck me, it's the most windy in the world. Here's what I'm trying to say, is what I'm excited about is that I now feel there's access to information, that I'm actually making serial improvements rather than just guessing. And that sense of feeling that there's an improvement, that I can automate the process with the other things, makes it more believable in my core that this channel could grow in the long term, rather than that just being a philosophy idea of just going like, well, if you start and continue something, you have to succeed, which is true, but you also need to improve on that consistency, the iterations that you're doing. You just can't do the same thing over and over and over and over and expect things to improve, though both are needed. With that said, if you're watching to the end, I appreciate you. I don't have a question in mind right now, but I think I can do that at a later point, just something to keep in mind. But I know you know this already. I'll say it again though, is that desire is what drives you forward. The pain you're going through is necessary. That is why you need to believe in yourself, because you're more capable of doing great things than you give yourself credit. Lean in, aim up, and move forward. Yes, you can. Yes, you will.